Good afternoon. This is January 26, 2021. It is noon. I am the chair of the Bail Bond Board and I call this meeting to order. We are live streaming pursuant to the provisions approved by the governor. I'm looking at the agenda. Mike, under the call to order, will you take roll?
Yes, Your Honor. When I call your name, please say present. Judge Salas Mendoza.
Present.
Judge Robledo.
Present.
Sonny de la Chica.
Present.
Norma Favela Barcelo.
Present.
Assistant Chief Vargas.
Present.
Edward Dion.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right, I should have said this as we started. Happy New Year to everyone, although I feel like it just kind of rolled over and there was no real break. I felt we just keep working at this and still under our COVID procedures, not able to meet in person. So I hope everyone is safe and healthy. I want to make sure that you'll know we have a couple of people joining us here. Patsy Lopez from the County Attorney's Office as a supervising attorney. She was the supervising attorney before, but we have a new assistant county attorney assigned to advise the Bail Bond Board, and that is Ms. Nancy Casas. They are joining us on this meeting. This is an open meeting. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any requests for public comment?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, so we'll just come back. Just remind me in case I forget. On the consent agenda, item number 3, discuss and or take action on the minutes of October 27th, 2020. Those minutes were sent out. I hope everyone has had an opportunity to review them. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes. Item number 4, discuss and or take action on the minutes of December 11th, 2020. Those minutes were also circulated and I hope everyone has had an opportunity to review them. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. We move on to reports. Item number 5, receive and discuss e-bonds report. Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to report that for the month of December, 612 bonds were, e-bonds were posted at the detention facility, 105 e-bonds posted at the jail annex, and 5 e-bonds posted at the satellite office. Year to date total for the year 2020, 9,057 e-bonds posted at the jail facilities, amounting to $51 million.
Mike, what's the comparison to last year? We've spent most of the year under the coronavirus. Is there a marked difference?
So there, from what I remember, and I looked at I don't have it right in front of me, but for 2019, the number of e-bonds posted by the bondsmen did decrease a little bit volume-wise, but amount-wise, it was very comparable, if not more, this year than last year. So maybe Mr. La Chica can shed some more light on that from his perspective, but the numbers didn't really change that much.
Knowing that I believe, Judge and board members, that one of the reasons why the numbers are pretty comparable to the previous years is that because of the electronic bond. I believe if we wouldn't have that available to us, it would have been a huge difference. You would have seen a lesser amount, a lesser, volume, but because of the ability to where we could just electronically submit our bonds, that is a tremendous advantage to our county here.
So kudos to the board and Judge Burrell, who spent so much time working on that, because that definitely was an important thing to do. One thing I will say, Mike, and I don't know that you're in charge of it, but I can tell you for myself and the court, I didn't have clear information about satellite booking. We just had one that we wanted to do, and I know part of it ran with the decisions about the building, whether we could have people here, because I believe they had initially opened up and then had to close. But I wasn't clear about the operations for satellite booking, and I know that perhaps more courts would have taken advantage of the ability to use satellite booking if we knew they were. I'm not sure that was clearly communicated to the courts.
So you're right from the perspective that because of the security and the pandemic, the satellite office wasn't available to the extent that it was, prior to the pandemic. Quite frankly, the sheriff's office was not staffing the satellite office because it was closed. So it did reopen momentarily, but then it, as you mentioned, it closed back down. So I did reach out to Tom Latta. If you recall, last time we met, we discussed this a little bit, and his reply was basically the same thing, that they weren't manning the satellite office because some of them were working from home and so forth. So I believe that's the status of the satellite office at this time. And bonding companies are not taking their clients who have cases outstanding to the satellite office. They're bringing them to fast track booking in the detention facility, which is working really good. And so that it's a good thing that's available, because the numbers count, right? And so every capias that can be executed and is good. And so the bonding companies are taking advantage of that fast track booking in the jail.
Well, that's good to know, because if that system is working well, and you do have someone that because the courts, we do have people that we don't want to necessarily have booked. We just need that processing to occur. And if that's working well, then I will share that with the judges, because that's we want to certainly make sure we take advantage of that. So that's good.
Just for information purposes, we are taking that situation available to us, and it's taking at least the sheriff's department 30 minutes or less to do what they have to do with the individual. Where we're taking to this, to the fast tracking, and they're releasing very, very fast. So that's a tremendous asset to the bail bond companies and to the community, because they're doing what they have to do and releasing those individuals.
Well, I appreciate the report. Onto the regular agenda, number 6, discuss and or take action on choosing a candidate from the results of the runoff election for criminal defense attorney representative to the board. Members of the board, despite my fervent efforts to try and fill this position, it has just been one thing after another. Remember last time that we met that I asked for approval of a provision to allow a runoff election, and you all did that. And so we had a runoff election. I have the results. Thankfully, we had provided a provision that ultimately the board could appoint, and I think that's what we're going to come down to. But I wanted to report to you all just my sense of a little bit of frustration, because there were a few people who had contacted me and other members of the board about wanting to serve on the bail bond board as representatives. If my memory serves me, and losing it, so I might not be accurate, but I believe that none of those people made it to the final, even in the runoff. So that was of interest. And I've gotten a little bit of feedback from folks that they had trouble getting the ballot, which it frustrates me because, as you know, our initial process involved using the state bar to send out the communications to qualified attorneys. Then we learned the state bar would not do that. And I've actually had asked them for other organizations if they will send information for us. And the state bar is very clear about they don't use their list for anything. They don't sell it. They don't do stuff for the organizations. It is the state bar's list. So we went to the alternative, and it's approved by the board that we would reach out to the criminal defense bar in any way that we could using the El Paso bar and contacts through the criminal defense bar. And we did that repeatedly. In addition to going through the bar and the lawyers, we had the Council of Judges Administration send the information about the position to all lawyers who do appointed work. So we did that repeatedly. We didn't send this information once. I want to say we sent it about 3 times before we went to the balloting. And there were very few lawyers who actually followed up to say, I want a ballot. So when I hear from lawyers that they say they couldn't get a ballot, it's frustrating to me because I was getting reports and can confirm to you all that we were getting reports from the county who was receiving the information about who had requested ballots. And so every time that we'd get a report, I'd send it out again because I thought, this is crazy that after all of this interest or supposed interest, more people aren't doing what they need to do to get a ballot. So we had the election, as you know, that resulted in a runoff the first time around. We amended our procedures to permit a runoff. And then we had other people wanting to vote. Folks who had not voted initially then wanted to get a ballot. And because our policy didn't have anything specific about it, and I'm about letting people vote, and they were qualified, we sent them a ballot. So in the end, here's what we have. Let me pull up the email so I can make sure I get it right. At the first ballot, we had 3 people with the same number of votes, and that was Luis Yanez, Maya Quevedo, and Nicole Maese. And we had a runoff among those 3, and then 2 people got the same number of votes, and 1 person got more votes. If you add in the provisional votes, there were 3. There is a tie. And so it is before this board to appoint the attorney representative. I can tell you, when we count the provisional ballots, there is a tie between Luis Yanez and Maya Quevedo. Without the provisional ballots, Luis Yanez got the most number of votes. So I will entertain a motion.
So is Mr. Yanez the winner?
Well, it's up to the board. I mean, we don't have any provision in our rules for any what the procedure is after there has already been an election, right? So if you think of it, there had already been an election. We're in a runoff, and in the runoff, people who had not previously voted wanted to vote, and we sent them a ballot. And if you include those ballots, there's another tie. If you don't include those ballots, Mr. Yanez had the most number of votes.
Oh, so there's a tie with all the votes included.
Yes, sir. And ultimately, our policy does provide for a selection by the board. So, and even though there's an election, we still have the, acceptance of the election, I guess. This would be the meeting. They would take office in January, and I don't know, Mr. Navarro, if we sent notice to them or not. But that's where we are.
I move that we appoint Mr. Yanez as the committee member for the defense bar.
Second.
Any discussion? So I do have a point of discussion. I think we had so many issues, right? And Mr. De La Chica, I so would rather have like the bondsman, you do your own election and then just let us know. This would be my preference, but there really isn't a good organization, and you know, we hadn't filled that position before. But I am comfortable that that Mr. Yanez got the most votes from the first election to the runoff, and that will, you know, make a decision on amending our policy to allow for these other things that we've learned, you know, provisional ballots and whether we need to do greater outreach. But it's definitely a learning process for me. Anyone else have any comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? I heard another vote. Everyone was aye? Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Motion. Okay. Well, I think we've wrapped up the election of the defense bar representative, and we'll return to public comment. Who is that?
It's not that I have a public comment. This is Mike Padilla. I represent North River. We're an agenda item on this agenda.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
I'm like, ooh, number 6 item done. Number 7. Oh, 6 and 7 is the same thing. No. 7 different. 7, I'm sorry. Discuss and or take action on the results of the election for bail bond company representative to the board. Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's correct. The bonding ballots were issued to bonding companies like we do every year. And we give them a week window to vote. And in that week, I received 9 ballots out of 20 or so that were issued. 8 votes went to Alberto de la Chica. 1 vote went to Pascual Olivas. I certify that the votes were counted and properly, and Mr. La Chica prevailed as a representative to serve on the bail bond board for 2021.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. De La Chica.
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion?
So move.
Look, second. To accept.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Are you abstaining, Mr. De La Chica? Are you going to vote for you?
I'll abstain.
Congratulations.
I think you got it in the bag.
Great.
Thank you very much for your service. We do appreciate you, and I think you do a great job representing the bondsmen, so they chose well.
Thank you,
Yes.
man.
Number 8, discuss and or take action on 3-year license renewal application from Bankers Insurance Company of St. Petersburg, Florida, doing business as Easy 3 Bail Bonds, license number 091, Mr. Jose Castañeda, agent. Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to request that this renewal application be tabled at this time. There are a couple of items that are still being worked on by the applicant. I'm in communication with the insurance company and the local agent. They're aware that there's a couple of deficiencies that still need to be worked on. So I would request a table till our next meeting.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 9, discuss and or take action on 3-year license renewal application from America Surety Company of Hayward, California, doing business as Borderland Bail Bonds, license number 093, Mr. Antonio Munoz, agent. Mr. Novato.
Thank you, Your Honor. So there's an error on the way this item is written. This particular insurance company, American Surety Company, is out of Indianapolis, Indiana, not Hayward, California. I'd like to make that correction. With that said, this is a renewal. This applicant was originally licensed in 2002, so they've been in business. They've been in good standing for 18 years. So this applicant qualifies for the 3-year license. And I'll go down the list of requirements. The $500 filing fee has been paid. Complete financial statement submitted. Certified copy of the assumed name certificate. 3 letters of recommendation. One from Ruben Nunez, Ruben Hernandez, and Ben Ivy. Photo, fingerprints, background check have been completed. I have verified the certificate of deposit. It is still in place. The applicant complied with continuing education on October the 8th, 2020. He completed the school at the Sam Houston State University. And with that said, I have verified that Mr. Munoz is a resident of El Paso, state of Texas, U.S. citizen, and I recommend that the license be renewed.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item number 10, discuss and or take action on 3-year license renewal application from North River Insurance Company of Morristown, New Jersey, doing business as One Call Bail Bonds. License number 120, Mr. Oscar Gonzalez, agent. Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an application for a 3-year renewal. This particular license was originally approved in February 2010. So he's been in business for 10 years in good standing, I would add. The applicant submitted his application timely. $500 filing fee was paid. Submitted sworn financial statement, assumed name certificate. 3 letters of recommendation were submitted from a Victor Parra, an Anthony Gonzalez, and a Abelardo Bustillo. Photo, fingerprint, background check have been completed. I have verified that the $50,000 certificate of deposit is in place. The applicant did comply with the 8 hours of continuing education in Pflugersville, Texas, the State Bail Bond School. The affidavit to his work experience was submitted. I have verified that Mr. Gonzalez is a resident of El Paso, Texas, state of Texas, and a U.S. citizen. And I would recommend that his license be renewed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number
Thank you,
11,
Board.
discuss and
Thank you very much.
thank you. Item number 11, discuss and or take action on 2-year license renewal application from Bankers Insurance Company of St. Petersburg, Florida, doing business as 915 Bail Bonds, license number 130, Mr. Fernando Serrano, agent. Mr. Navarro.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to recommend that this renewal be tabled due to the fact that there are some unfinished items that have not been completed. I'm in communication with the underwriter and the local agent, they're aware. And so it's not complete, and therefore it's not ready to be voted on.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 12, discuss and or take action on complaint from Ms. Maria Segoviano regarding Ms. Guadalupe Avila Sandoval, formerly doing business as 24-hour bail bonds. Mr. Navarro, I've not seen or heard anything about it. What do you know?
Okay, so this involves a bail bond company that went out of business a few years ago. The defendant's family pledged their home as collateral on the bond. The bonding company placed a lien on the property. The mother has since passed away. The underlying criminal case involved a bond forfeiture. The defendant failed to appear, so the bond was forfeited by the county attorney's office. The bonding company paid the forfeiture. There was 2 bonds and 2 payments of something in the neighborhood of $1,200 each. I reached out to the former owner, and she's adamant that her lien will not be removed until she's reimbursed for the bond forfeitures. I talked to the mother's daughter, who's the one that reached out to us, and told her that the bail bond company will not remove the lien until they're reimbursed for the forfeitures that they paid for the defendant's absence. And so, be it that it's a one, the license is no longer subject to suspension or renewal because they're no longer in business. And then 2, I think it's a business matter, and the county attorney's office can chime in and correct me on this. If it's a business matter between the bondsman and their client, but it's at a standstill because the bonding company is saying, I'm not going to remove my lien until I get reimbursed for the forfeiture I paid. And so the mom's daughter said she's thinking about reaching out to an attorney, and I said, you know, you have the right to file a lawsuit against the bail bond company. That's your prerogative, or you can pay the $2 $1,200 judgments, and the bail bond company has said they'll release their lien. So that's where this case is at.
We don't have any jurisdiction in this situation. They're no longer licensed to do business as a bail bond here in the county of El Paso. The only recourse she has is to file a lawsuit, and that's the only matter she has, to file a lawsuit if she wants, but that's it. We don't have any jurisdiction.
Right. It's interesting, though, that someone's there to ready to release liens if they're paid, right? Because they're not operating. But I guess my only I don't have a problem if the lady wanted to come here and have her say. There's nothing we could do about it, but apparently she didn't want to do that. Mr. Navarro?
I gave her the information about the board and our meetings, and I indicated to her that it would be on the agenda.
And you know, even though I think we all agree that there's nothing for us to do, but what she should do is not really for us to say, right? We would just say, you know, you may want to go see a lawyer and see what options you have, but we certainly don't want to be giving her advice. But she's not here, so no action on that item. The next item I have is adjournment. Is there anything else? Any announcements? I just want to let you all know that I'm going to reach out to our. We don't have Judge Herrera is no longer on the bench. I don't know if the county judges want to send another representative. I noticed that we don't have a DA representative. I'm going to make sure that our new DA knows that we welcome their participation on the board. Obviously, they have a seat at the table.
Judge Salas.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Corina Cervantes, and I am filling in. I was just notified by Ms. Rosales this morning to sit in the meeting. I do apologize. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning.
No, that's okay. And I appreciate you and thank you for coming in. Are you going to be filling in permanently or we just wanted that this morning somebody go?
I don't know yet. I was just notified this morning. I mean, but if that's the case, then I can shoot you an email and then I'll let you know if it'll be me or if it was a one-time assistance to this meeting.
Okay, I may still reach out just to make sure that we, you know, you have your seat at the table. It's important. So just to confirm, either way, and we've had different people sit in. It's a district attorney seat, but it doesn't have to be the same person. I'm just curious. And that's it. I don't have anything else. Anyone want to stay on and talk?
I think Mike Navarro may have something else regarding Commissioner Leon, if he can make that announcement to the members. Mike?
So, thank you, Mr. La Chica. I did receive an email this morning from Josie Garcia, Senior Policy Advisor for Commissioner Carlos Leon, informing me that Commissioner Holguin will be taking the place of Commissioner Leon's designation to the board. So I did forward the agenda and all the attachments to Commissioner Holguin.
Is that Ileana Holguin?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
So I don't, I haven't checked Commissioner's Court agenda. I don't know if it was it went that route or the county judge just directly designated Ms. Holguin. But
no, the item was open. The appointment was open. Patsy Lopez, just for the record, County Assistant County Attorney. Good evening or good morning, everybody. The item was up for appointment in Commissioner's Court, and the court made a decision that Ms. Holguin would be the new appointment to the board.
Thank you.
So with all the changes, I would just reach out to everyone to make sure that they know we are meeting and that we certainly welcome their participation. I thank you all for signing in and letting us do business here. It's important to the community, so I appreciate you helping us make quorum in these unusual times. And with that, I'm sure you all have other things you want to get to.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Please be safe.
Y'all
Thank
take
you, guys.
care.
You too.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Miguel.
Bye.